All right, time to get this party started. Hopefully everyone's having a good week so far. Getting into the Halloween season over here. I'll start out with some Blender. All right. What do I need? We can make a lot of things. I need projectiles for the towers. I need more towers. And code is online. What is going on, dude? All is well, man. All's well. Busy, but doing well. Family's doing all right. How's your family doing? Hopefully your health is doing all right too. Subdivide this a few times. Then I'm going to select all. Let's see if we can make like a lens. Make like an apartment building. Glad to hear it, man. And congrats on the progress for your game. It's pretty awesome. It's almost you're about ready to ship that thing. That could be a crazy projectile. Just the other endings to do, and then it's done. Lots of playtesting. Heck yeah, man. And I'll be honest, we haven't really done much of anything on the PC this week. We've been pretty preoccupied with other stuff, but we still want to finish playing the game. A, because it's fun, and B, because I know it'll help you out. So it's still on the to-do list, but I haven't really touched my game much at all, and haven't gotten to yours either, unfortunately. But yeah, man, you're inspirational. Keep up the good work. All right, I'm gonna add. Let's add an HDRI to the background so we get some kind of light. Actually, let me save. I never save. I don't even know what to call this thing. I'll just call it projectile spiky and One of these. Yeah, you work on your game for a while, then take a break to work on random ideas and test. Yeah, those random ideas, enough of them, you really build up a an arsenal of tools and concepts. It's pretty valuable. All right, where did this thing go? Where did it go? Oh, here's one. All right, open. And what we need. There we go. You just haven't decided on what game to make next yet. Yeah, I mean, so you started on some of the 3D stuff. Are you like wanting to do more 3D now? And I'm hoping the game looks pretty good. I mean, I've spent as much time in Blender lately as I have in GDevelop. So, yeah, we'll see how it goes. Might work well as the Earth attack projectile. Think so? Could be, I could do a snowball-y thing too. Let me set the render up here. Let's do cycles. This will need to be... I don't remember what I was doing my projectiles as. Pretty tiny, I think 60 by 60. So when you say Earth projectile, what are you thinking? Like just the way it is, like this kind of white? Let's do Eevee. It's really too slow here. So I was thinking we could make it kind of transparent, or we can make it fiery. We can make it kind of like, yeah, you could do like cotton ball or spike seed balls. Yeah, lots of options. Lots of options. Let's save. Let's set up the camera real quick. Alt G, Alt R, and then GZ. Move it up a bit. And then let's move it over on the Y axis. That should work. Let's open the camera view over here on the left. Then zoom in a bit. So we'll still have the background lighting affecting it, but we won't see the background now. And then there we go, orthographic. Depends on how well it shows at a smaller scale in the game. Exactly. So when I hit F12 now, so I mean that's, I know it looks probably even smaller on stream, but that's about as big as it's gonna get. So mostly, like let's go to the animation. Let's cap this thing at 30 frames, I think, and let's do. Yeah, I think we could do that. So let's set the rotation. Why is it being goofy? It's being a little bit goofy. O'Reilly, you here? Roll call. Blaze said he was going to be here too. What's going on with Blaze? All right, there's something I was trying to fix last time I did this. It has to do with... Yeah, she probably is lurking. Check this out. I got some new keys on my keyboard. They were a birthday present. The colored ones are Nightmare Before Christmas. So a few random Nightmare Before Christmas keys in there in the mix. I doubt anyone could really see that, but trust me, they're there. And they got the shirt on as well. My green screen effect is really making it, it's all green, so it's kind of transparent. Okay, navigation. I think they said turn off auto. I think it was depth. No. Yeah, man, it was. Another year for the books.
You are. Tell him I said hi.
Well, the mic's live.
Hello, Ben. And Blaze.
And Blaze is here finally. Welcome back, dude.
Are they saying your birthday?
Yeah. Appreciate the birthday wish code. Now I was showing them these keys. The subset of Nightmare Before Christmas keys on the keyboard. And the shirt. Which shows up kind of funny because of the green screen effect. Well, all the green is now like weird and transparent.
That's blue.
Some of it's green. Blaze, you been working on any art projects? Doing any more? What have you been up to, dude? We need an update. Saw the sky pictures you took. Those are pretty awesome. Yeah, the whole green screen thing is, it's interesting, all right. Blaze, we need a status update, bro. You owe us one. We're gonna delete those keyframes. All right, let's see. We need 360. Oh, so I guess 12. We'll do 360 divided by 30 is 12, so we need 348. There we go. That should look decent. Let's see how that looks. And let's take off that interpolation mode. We want linear. All right, now we have a basic spinning thingy, and it'll be really small. We got Riley in the chat. Blaze is doing good. More interests. What kind of interest, dude? I'm just modeling a projectile for one of the towers. To make it kind of glassy. So it'll be transparent to whatever is kind of behind it. AC/DC. I went and saw AC/DC once. What is it supposed to be? Nothing in particular. At the moment, it looks like an ice ball, but we were also thinking it could be kind of an earthy seedling, spiky seed thing that the Earth Tower could shoot. If we put flames on it, it could be like a flame core. I might use it as a lot of different things, to be honest. It doesn't like that. Let's do a mix. See if it'll... let's see, I thought I did this before. That's what I need. Mix shader, not color. Could always tint it. Let me open up the game though. I think, what did I make that, 60 by 60? It might still be too big. They need to all be the same size. I want them to be at least. Because the one in here is... Oh yeah, that's 40 by 40, and that already feels on the large side. As of October 1st in the UK, you can now book a doctor's appointment online. I'll be honest, I didn't know you couldn't. So you couldn't do that at all before? I mean, good for y'all. I mean, that's super convenient. Did you have to call? See, these are 40 by 40, and they already feel pretty big for a projectile. So, I mean, really, there's not going to be much detail on some of these. There's no need for it. Let's see what... I mean, that's a little export frame right there. So if I export that could be like kind of a spiky thing. And then if I just change a few things... In fact, if I take this, let me save it. Just look at the solid view, and then... And I think also if I tab out of that, actually that kind of looks neater. I just wonder what that'll do for the render. So let's try rendering these out. I'm going to save it. Yeah, I really could tweak it to make so many variations. And the fun part is, since I'm not doing a 3D game, I don't care about the geometry or how expensive it is in terms of the polys. But it kind of makes me wish it were 3D so I could really show the detail on some of these things. But let's go ahead and I'm going to Control Alt F12 and hope these... Looks like it finished already. Where did it go to? Probably went to C temp. Wow, it already finished the render. All right, let's drop those. Actually, that was so fast. Let me get rid of those, and then I forgot to set the naming convention and the render location. Output. Yeah, right there, temp. We want it to go to... Where is it? Assets. We'll put it here. And then we'll preface it with that. All right, let's try this. Control F12. Boom. Those are done. Got my files here. Let's put it into gdevelop. And open. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this moon one for now. It's just the wrong size. If I'm gonna add it in, I'll need to change it up. Let's change. So that's 35 by 35. Let's see what we feel about that. Let's set the center. So Code, did you... Oh, never mind. You answered my question. You said in the UK you had to ring the doctors at 8 and wait in line. First come, first serve. Man, yeah. So we have like such different problems, but it sounds like you're definitely passing us. Because like we could book online for many places. Use an app or whatever. I mean, honestly, you often still have to wait when you get there, but it's not necessarily first come, first serve. You can still reserve a spot. But we pay a lot more, like basically by default. Whether or not they do anything for you, we still pay it quite a bit. You know, like $100 a visit just for them to say go get some rest. But I'm glad y'all are catching up to the technological times. That's really convenient. But let's be honest, it's not the fact that we pay. Like, that had nothing to do with the fact that we could do it online. Honestly, I wonder why the UK wasn't allowing it. Because it sounds like a governance issue, not like individual doctors deciding that. And, okay, let's go ahead and play this. Let's just see what that projectile looks like. You pay national insurance. So it's paid by employees, employers, and self-employed to fund state benefits. I don't know much about that, but it sounds similar because we do pay as well. We pay a national tax, a federal tax. So I wonder if it's kind of the same thing. All right, let's see how these look. You know, obviously they're so small, but I think these look decent as like little ice ball-y things. Obviously there's a text attached to it at the moment too, so it's kind of gnarly looking. We could add more of these. I think the size is all right. That funds civil jobs and stuff. Yeah. So that makes sense. It's no fun to pay it. All right, let's do some more exports here. Let's change. I'm going to get rid of the world. I know I just added the world shader. Let's get rid of it now because it's adding too much blue. Let's undo that. We want some background. Where's that light? Let's add another light. Actually, let's make that a little bit stronger. And then add another one. Okay, thank you. Tell me about the UK National Health Service in a bit. And then let's change this view so we don't see all this extra junk over on the left. I know, I can't wait either, dude. I'm excited. I did fix something. Like I said, I didn't do much this week on the game. Big shock to everyone I know. But I did fix something with the bullets. So I got the bullets logging their IDs in an array of arrays, which will help with things like allowing for piercing and things like that. But no, she was saying she could educate me on the UK NHS because I'm showing my ignorance, but she knows all about it. All right, and then, so it kind of depends on what we want to do. If we want, for now, maybe just make like a, because I could tint them in the game, but we go to shading. Did I delete? No, let's go back to the object shader nodes here. Because I was thinking we could hit it with a red light, or we could just make it red, or reddish. Well, I was able to earlier. See if I drop. What happens if I drop this in the middle? Oops. No, it doesn't like that. I'll never know till you try. Something to do with removing the world shader. Isn't allowing colors to come through, but the lights can still be colored. Could even do a two-tone. It wouldn't spin with it. I mean, I can make it spin with it. Make them spin with it. Yeah, we're gonna need a couple of hours. I'm gonna have to get another cup of coffee and get ready for this text discussion.
He says we need hours for that discussion. Don't tempt me with a good time.
She says, don't tempt her with a good time. Not the coffee, the 2 hours of discussion. All right, now what do we think? Do we make the colors rotate with it? Like it's a painted object, or do we keep the backlight the way it is? Where you have a front light and a backlight that don't change relative to the camera position. To be honest, I don't think that this, because again, when I render it, it's gonna look so small. It's just gonna really look like a color. You know, we're talking this. And if I zoom into that, it's not a lot of detail. So I don't think it necessarily looks like real light unless I add a light to it in the game. So I don't think the light's really coming from anywhere. But in the animation, the colors will stay either on the relatively same side, or it can be like a painted marble and the colors roll with it. So I don't know. We can do it both ways. Yeah, I mean, honestly, in this particular case, more of a texture. Let's see. I think I can... Let me save it. So if I do... I mean, hell, it's so easy. Let's just... Let me go to the output here. Let's just change what we're naming it. So instead of blue spiky, we'll call it... yellow... red spiky. That's the professional name for it. So let's just Control F12. We're done. Now let's try, I think I select these. Well, let me double check. I think I select these and then this. I set parent to the object. There we go. So now they're going with it. I feel like the yellow might need a little more, but let's see what that looks like. I feel like the yellow might be a little dim, though. Will I be making the mouse cursor too? Yeah, I'll definitely put the mouse cursor back in. I just wanted to fix it a little bit. I think it's probably just a GDevelop engine thing, but or maybe it's a Windows thing. But half the time when I run the custom cursor in the game, if at some point it would fail to hide the Windows default cursor. A 3D version of Blaze's cursor would be cool. Yeah, it would be. I could probably drop it in here and make it 3D. Or he could, if he'll stop lurking and make some art. Yeah, this is still for the same tower defense game. Oh, y'all were talking about the cursor issue? All right, let's find the yellow one. I want to add a little more power on that one. And then let's try exporting this one as well. Let's just see what it looks like. Got nothing to lose here. Okay, so let's loop those. So here is with the lights kind of in the same place the whole time. And it will be smaller than that, I think. Yeah. And then with the lights moving with it. And a really dark spot for some reason. I'm gonna tell the bullets to stop having that text object show up. But yeah, you're saying if you have an event set up, like conditions at the beginning of the scene, trigger once, action, hide cursor seems to work. At the beginning of the scene, trigger once, and then hide the cursor. I kind of thought I did that in the old game, but I'm not sure. Oh, inverted. Okay. Well, that would explain why why it wasn't working. Okay. Pretty good with that. Obviously, we just change the colors real quick. At this point, I'm just happy to get maybe some random things put in there that we can. So this spot here needs one. If the engine lags while starting it, it results in the cursor action getting missed. Gotcha. Do you think... I wonder if the consensus is that in the actual exported game, it works better? Because that was always my hope. That's why I just kind of put up with it. All right, let's see if we can slightly change the structure here. I think there is we got a modeling. select. There is a checker deselect. If I take those and like, scale them out. It's quite a lot. Why is it like that? I feel like there's twice as much stuff here than I need. Okay. Thanks.
Hey everyone, how y'all doing?
Don't want to do that.
Sup? I gotta go now. Gotta get some sleep for school tomorrow. I'll see you later. Bye. Bye, Mom. Okay, bye.
Have a good night, dude. He says night, bud. Hmm. Oh yeah, how'd the YouTube channel? Did you take it down? I need some crows in this game. That's a good idea actually. We do need some crows in this game. Blaze knows some Blender. Blaze, can you make crows? Like, can you personally make crows? Oh yeah, I'll come put some in a minute.
Just leave it up.
Okay. I think this is looking kind of almost floral. I just need to rotate it on a different, like on a different axis. Let's go to the animation. I'll delete the keyframes. And let's make a flowery thing. I don't know exactly what my plan is. I don't have a plan here. But on the left here is the camera view, so I want to try to rotate this thingy to somewhat face the camera. So I think I need... and rotate it on the Z right about there. It was a challenge you set for ChatGPT. They give the channel idea and text stuff. You implemented it. They said they could make 100 subs in 1 week. And how many subs did you get? I'm trying to see what my subscriptions are so I can go to it. What was it called again? No, you got like 6. Honestly, though, getting your first 6, you know, the first The smaller the number, the harder they are to come by. But did you leave it up? I think what I want to do here, I don't actually even need the camera to be like at a weird angle. So let's just move the camera down to the same level. Right about there. Normally I would need to angle it, but in this case it's pretty obscure. All right, so now here's the camera view. Let's pull it back along the Y and change the scale. Looks like a lettuce. Can't have too many cabbages. Why is there this dark area up top? Okay. So now if I select it, move this, come up here. Actually, let's back up one step here. So we're gonna, I think we're rotating on the Y this time. So if I set that to 0, and actually I think it needs to move on the X a little more. Yeah, I finally found the page and pulled it up. So the, here we go. Wait, is that? Yeah, here it is. So we've got a couple of 19 views. So you place your bets. So someone made a PVZ roguelike. Looks pretty cool. Nice. I'd pick Team Red. So purple warps them to the beginning, and the black and white checker is the finish line. Holy crap. Look at those greens. Oh, purple deletes. I like the physics here with the bubbles. Well, I did not win, but I tied for second with red. That's pretty fun, though. Pretty fun idea. All right, this can be the cabbage launcher. Interpolation mode linear. I hope the enemy's hungry. Don't even know what kind of stupidity that's going to look like, but we'll find out. Looks like it's going to be really dark. Let's just add a big area light here. Not sure what it's going to look like, but we're going to find out. And then I might go over to GDevelop and do some work over there. Just wanted to have a few animations to play around with, and I think this gives me some ideas as well. I'll just call this one lettuce. The great thing about these tiny animations is they render really quickly. Yeah, definitely. I think actually a lot of these are probably going way too slow. At least 30 FPS. Because they're going to be firing so fast. They won't even exist on the screen long enough to really have any time. So I'll have... I can set a few tests using these. What do I have? The blood tower, which I'm not sure it shoots a normal projectile, but maybe. I know in Path of Exile you can shoot there's a contagion thing. Let me pull that up real quick. Well, not sure where it went, but basically, maybe I can find just an image of it. Basically, you shoot like a seed. It hits an enemy, and then if that enemy dies, it then explodes and spreads in a contagion. That's basically the concept I want to use for one of the effects of the blood tower. Well, maybe it was essence drain contagion, this kind of thing. It doesn't really tell you much about what it does, but trust me. You said they might be a blur on screen, but we will know what they look like. Yeah, you and I will know, and anyone watching the stream, it'll be our little secret. All right, so here we have enemies. So I will need to add some conditions in here. It's like the 20 minutes to dawn attack that spreads to nearby enemies upon death. Yeah, it sounds like it. So it might be right here. Pick the enemy. Can't think of the name. Minutes to dawn. Let me pull that up. Oh yeah, it's like a pretty high contrast game. Do you do better with high contrast? I'm a fan of these games. I like the exploding everything on scene. Some people don't. I like it though. It's a lot of fun. You made a build that you shoot one time and never have to shoot again. Nice. I haven't played that one. Super cheap. I've played a similar one that I play tested. It was Slime something, Slime 3K. Slime Despot. Oh my gosh, I can't even remember it. Yeah, Slime 3K, Rise Against Despot. It's another similar kind of wave defense bullet hell. Yeah, I might give that one a try. I mean, it's $3. It's cheaper than a cup of coffee these days, which is insane. Yeah, I've added to cart. All right, towers. Tower type is equal to 0. Let me double check the towers because they're in numerical order. So number 1 is arcane. Let me make an arcane shot real quick. Might even start from scratch on this. Let's do... maybe just like a nice clean sphere on this one. Scale it up. But the lights need to be different colors. Almost like a disco ball. Let's get one of these. Somewhere in this range. Low opacity sphere. Yeah, exactly. All right, which one of you is green? Killing the vibe here. Still have a green one in here. Then, yeah, let's go over to, it should be low opacity. I think that it is actually. In fact, we could test this. Let's add a monkey head. And scale that up so we can see it. We'll put it right behind. Or actually, it's inside of the sphere. That'd be creepy, wouldn't it? If we had enough detail in the game where you could see a skull inside the sphere. So that's in there. Now, you found a Magicka voxel has an animation feature built in. Ooh, nice. That opens up a whole can of possibilities. So, okay, yeah, let's do this. Do a shader with a glass and a transparent. Yeah, no roughness. This probably, I think this actually works better in cycles. In fact, it does, because now we can see through it. And let me go back over here to render and denoise and save so it doesn't, in case it crashes. Now I think we just have too much light. We might just have too many of these for this particular project. You said your game has so many Easter eggs and random fun stuff that most players will miss, but for the players that find them, it's fun. Yeah, no, that's super awesome. I love it when I play a game like that. Yeah, I definitely am going to be on the lookout for those as well. There we go. Yeah, it was just kind of like way too much light. Might miss it first playthrough, but find it the second time. Makes it fun to find those. Yeah, for sure. And it's also a little hard to tell, like whenever I move this, it's like rendering in real time because it has to catch up on the render. I wonder if I wonder if the translucent, it's almost like it's too clear. I wonder if translucent looks better here. Actually, there's just glass all by itself. That looks pretty solid. Hmm. And if you add just a little bit of roughness, just a little bit of surface light scattering. Let's hide Suzanne the monkey head. And why don't we, actually, let me see. If I rotate that, what does it do for us? Doesn't do a lot, so I might take all of the lights and link them to it as well. So now if I move the thing, they'll all move with it. Could be kind of cool. It's still there lurking if I toggle it. But I'm really thinking now have one with a, yeah, I could put it as like an Easter egg for Blender users because they'll recognize Suzanne. Granted, it's going to be the size of a pinky nail, so can't tell what it is, but you know, we'll know. All right, let's do the animation and then render this out. Then we'll have an arcane shot ready to go. All right, so let's set, we're gonna rotate on the Z. Let's put that to 0. And eye rotation, go to 30. We want 346 degrees of rotation. We know. Let's set that. And then let's change the output name. Purple glass. And render. This one's fancy because it took longer than 5 seconds. Probably because I'm using Cycles, which is a higher quality render. Probably should have done that for the others, to be honest, but oops. All right, that should be it. Open. That should be at about 30 frames per second. What about super fast? What about 60? It's kind of cool, huh? It's kind of a party. What do we think about the FPS here? 30 frames total. This is 2 animations per second. Somehow it is. Yeah, let's try it in game. And then I wanted to come here, so if the tower type is 0, do this stuff. And if it's 1, do all the same stuff, but I'm going to tell it to fire, change the animation. Oh, I see. I need to change the type. So this will be type of bullet set to towers.type. So that's actually automated. Okay, so if that might be in. No? Maybe I didn't even put it in the game. Okay, so we will say oh, change the number of the animation, set that to tower's ID. Okay. So I definitely need to put this at number 1, not 0. So the basic tower is going to shoot that yellowy red one. But if I set it to arcane, it should shoot the purple one. Or it will shoot none. All right. Let's see, tower, when I create the towers, where am I setting the tower type? Okay, well, that would be Y. So, okay, yeah, there we go. If it is... if the animation, I could probably automate this too, so let's do animation by number. I think. Well, no, that won't work. So, because we're setting the type, change the animation, and the type is set to the animation. Yeah, I find it easier to do the external events. Because it's more modular, I can swap them around. What about you? What do you think? How about this? Let's try... Yeah, you always use them. Nice. Is animation index like which animation it is? Is that the animation by number? Return the... Oops. Return the animation played by the object using the animation number. Okay, sounds like it is. Because I'm thinking I might have created a tower and then later changed the animation without building a whole new tower. So frame would be the other option. Yeah, I think you're right. So if the number of the animation, so there we go. That should work. That'll change the tower type when the tower is initially built, or at least for now. At least for now, it's going to be create object, and we'll just set the variable. Later, I do have a plan to change that. Towers dot... Well, no, that's fine. It'll start out as 0. But it does need to be set to something, so... Let's test that. Is it? It absolutely needs to be. Thanks for catching that. I'm putting 2 towers out here, and then I'm just going to check the tower types over here. So first one is set to 0. Second one is set to 1, which is what we wanted. And I don't know what's going on with the Z order there, but the towers are firing the correct projectiles. All right, making progress. So that should be automated enough. So it'll pick the animations. I don't need to go in and say to change it every single time. Let's close that one. In fact, I didn't even need this. But I will have something like this at some point, so... Because some of them won't shoot the same projectile, some of them will do other types of things. But... But right now they don't do anything different, so I would just have... This is where I have customization. Some automation, some customization. But right now they all do the same thing. All right. Yeah, I'm sure the meteor attack will look a lot better this time around. For sure. All right, let's see. So, with all that being done, let's look at what the bullets are. So the tower order right now is... So blood is number 2. So you know what I want to do? Let's... Starting on 0, there's you sometimes. Yeah. You and me both, dude. I'm going to save as. Thinking about making like sort of a drop, like a droplet. Not sure how well I can craft this in a hurry. entirely sure. Just kind of going. Oops, wrong thing. It doesn't have to be a pure droplet. It's going to be so small, you know, but what I have in mind is something for the blood tower. It kind of shoots it out as that seed projectile. And I could always do something like, if I go back into material preview, take this, and then I think bevel it. I pulled that out too far. Probably could have done the whole thing, to be honest. What about... if I bevel all of that? Kind of helps a little bit. Some pretty weird looking shapes. Yeah, it would be the other way around. I just happen to have it set up this way right now. I figure just get it into GDevelop and then rotate all frames or something. Or I could rotate the object after I get done with this too, I guess. Let me see. Rotate X. Keep going. Blender does this weird thing sometimes where it like kind of limits rotation. So that's 130. I need to go another 50. Tell you what, let's... Can make some really funky patterns with this. Can almost make a droplet splash with it. You could maybe do something weird like this. Yeah, I definitely have too much fun doing this stuff. Is it productive? I don't know. All right, let's go to render mode. And then this is actually for the blood tower. So I want to take the lights and change them a bit. And this will be the last thing I kind of put in and test tonight. I guess it's less of a test and more of just put it in. And yeah, just moving right along. Oh, I definitely used to procrastinate. I mean, like, it's insane. All right. So this is definitely going to rotate on the Z axis. I can't even say the word. And of course I forgot to reset these. So it's still almost like too bright. I mean, they should be pretty bright because, you know, the towers are kind of generated with light. That might work. Let's rename that one now. Yeah, it needs to stand out from the lava background. Yeah, for sure. So could always add an in-game shadow, but I'm kind of thinking this time around of avoiding as many effects as possible in the game. I might append a light. Well, I'm probably definitely applying a light to each projectile, sticking it to it. So that should help with the standing out issue a bit. But yeah, let's see what happens. I still want to fix the rotations here, though. So let's take that, rotate it again. 180. Just another 10 degrees or so. All right. Like, we could give it a slight wobble or something too. But let's go ahead and set the Z things. So let's remove those frames. And then let's set the frames for the rotation. 348. And do the same thing. If we wanted to give it some kind of a wobble, we could do like, I would set, let's say X would be, actually probably Y. Like -10? No, that's too much. -4. So there, and we would set, actually probably set the rotation again. So let's try this. Yeah, set rotation. So 348, that's 150, 160, 170, 174. So if I go to the halfway frame, I need this to be, it's at 165. Did I do my math wrong? Oh, no, not 346. So 348. 174. I don't know. I'm going to trust it, though. It's putting it at 165. And then we'll set the Y here to... In fact, what is it doing? Oh, it's slowly going back to 0. Let's set that to 0. Actually, let me think. So it needs to go from -3 to 3. Actually, I needed to set that frame. What's going on, Enhancer? How's your evening going? You just caught me trying to do a little bit of public math, and I'm failing horribly, but we're going to get through this. Oh, appreciate that. I'm glad it was helpful for you. Yeah, doing great here, man. Just still working on the same game because I'm slow, but having a good time. Just working in Blender, making some projectiles for my tower defense. How have you been? Are you working on a game right now? Alright, so let's delete these last keyframes. So that's going to be starting at... It's supposed to be -3. I don't know what it is doing here. Z should be at 0. And my internet's tripping out too. One of your school stuff is making a game in GDevelop, so oh nice. Well, my friend Lost in Code here is also super helpful. If you need any more help, I mean, you know, I don't claim to know everything, but happy to help out where I can, and you're welcome to join our Discord as well if you have any questions. And I feel like something crashed here. My computer did something really weird just now. So I'm going to reload. Like, that was weird. It deleted a bunch of things. So what kind of project are you doing? Enhancer? Okay, what in the world? This is completely bananas. We were doing just fine. Okay, you know what? That's just nuts. There's that. Your favorite video is still the fireworks? Wait, oh, this is a live stream glitch right now? It's good now. Well, you know, glitched is my theme, so hence the little glitch effect on my profile. You have to make a game with certain code, like a monster hazard object and making the sprites. Nice. Are you working in teams or are you working solo? Let's save this. Still have a monkey head in there. I feel like there's a pink light somewhere, but I can't. Oh, yep, right there. I think there's still one other one in there somewhere too. I thought I could select them all at the same time and change the color, but I guess that wasn't really a thing. Worked in solo. Very good. What are you using to make your sprites? Do you have to make them from scratch, or can you like use asset packs? Save again. I'm not losing my progress again. Okay, let's see if I can save, and then I'm just going to deform this a little bit. Let me undo that and just make sure I don't invert it. So I think we'll start. There, and then go with wireframe. Could almost be more like a warhead. But I know what I don't want it to look like, so I need to change it up a bit. Use Pixelrama. Nice. I don't think I've used that one before. You don't really have an idea, but you have a samurai in a cave. So maybe like he's trying to find the ancient sword to make like a master or a legend. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Is it so you have a samurai in a cave? Is it like a side view, like a platformer kind of? Platformer. Okay. Well, Code literally just is finishing a platformer, so he can tell you all about it. But yeah, man, I mean, you know, GDevelop, it's so quick and easy to get started on those platformers. I even have a tutorial in the works on making one. Let's see here. I think I can work with this. I just want to make these things here a little bit spiky. So I'm going to take this rim and actually I want to just select this line, this edge. Or actually, let me try this. Let's select the whole thing and let's go to select, check or deselect. Can I invert that selection? Oops. All right, let's try. I think, is it Control I? No. How do you invert the selection? Let me double check on something here. It should be Control I. All right, so I think it's just selecting literally everything else. Whereas what I want is more like these larger ones here. So I know what I can do. Yeah, the samurai platform would be a lot of fun. Could make that really stylized. You have Ace Sprite, but end up using Piscal a lot more. Probably because you make a lot of prototypes, so it's easier. Yeah. Yeah, Piscal's decent. I feel like it's like quicker to get up and going. It's really not too bad. Okay, well, let's do this then. Let's go back to solid view. And what happens if I delete this edge? Some of those look all right, but I'll need to join these. I'll be honest. Probably don't even need to bother with all this right now. What happens if we just... If we just render this? Does it have enough light? It's almost like it's got too much up here at the top. What does it look like in a single frame? It'll work. It'll work. That one goes there. Set that rotation and then come here. And set that rotation. There, it gets a slight wobble now. Let's go ahead and export this. Samurai could get a new sword at the end of each level to increase his reputation. Master to legend and so on. Yeah, that'd be cool. All right, let's add some files. And that needs to come, let me see, I think third. Now in theory, actually, let me double check something here. I think these need to face to the right, if I'm not mistaken. Then in theory, if I select the blood tower, it'll automatically choose the blood projectiles. which it is. That'll work. That will work. Success. Let's see. Yeah, I can play that again. Let me get rid of some text I had put on there for troubleshooting. Didn't realize I'd put it in so many places here. Just 1 second. Here we go. It's kind of hard to see it, even for me. Not gonna lie. Let's see, what can we do about that? If we come in here, let's see, if we scale it, what would happen? So if we play the animation, or let's see, how do I zoom in here? I could probably scale it all a little bit. They could be off center since I changed. I think they share the same points, but it could look funny. What if I go ahead and add a little light to this? And then here we'll add a light. Stick that to the tower bullet. And I'm trying to remember. It could be off center. It's going to be hard to tell. Probably help if I actually created light as well. Let's do that. Let's see what that looks like. Still really hard to see. My goodness. Maybe I just need to fatten up the image here. A little bit. Chunky mode. All right, let's go to the bullet again, and I will simply how to get the file name as the animation name. I'll just delete that and add another one. And then this will be about it for tonight. So let's get this in here. Let's go chunky mode. And I think we had, so let's go to the preview. I do want it to loop. Probably not a big deal here, but I forgot to put this on linear. Wobble wobble. All right, that's the third one down. That's what we want. Let's check out the points. The points don't move. I think even if I rotate these to the right, so let's go and do that. Yeah, it should still be centered enough. And apply that. And oh, let me try one other thing as well. Let's do towers updates. Gonna do another light. Actually, you know what? I did that in the wrong order last time. Let me just correct the order here and see how this looks. So that'll be for see, that's 3. I think I need 2, right? His blood on animation 2. 0, 1, 2. Yes. Okay. That's why we couldn't see the light as well. I'm not even using this for anything. Yeah, the path, and let me double check on that. I don't know why it's on the wrong, either the wrong layer or the wrong Z order. Level setup. At level 1, let's look at level 1. It's on the base layer, but the Z order is all over the place. Wait, no, it's not. There's only one path. It's on the base layer. Z order 34. Let's put it under everything at least. But yeah, if you want to, we could hide it for sure if you want. Although, to be honest, if it's still hard to see with the path there, then something's going to have to change because the path will be there. Let's see if the Z order works correctly at least. For starters. I do agree things are a little hard to see here, even for me. Let's get a bunch of these blood towers. Yeah, they have a light for sure. The light's a little intense. Maybe a glow? Yeah, maybe. That might be better. The only reason light, I mean, I might do both, but I think the light will emit actual light, whereas the glow won't. So if I dim the scene, there might be a need for both. But let's try that for now too. Yeah, I mean, we're basically operating with like full daylight here. Might not always be the case. Yeah, I still have the fog of war. That's still a thing. And I'm thinking I'll keep it in the game, but I might not use it all the time. It might just be like certain levels. You know, certain levels will have like fiery fissures open up in the ground. And then I think like some levels will have fog of war. So I think it'll be a feature, just not all the time. But again, you know, playtesting will help make that final determination. Okay. I was going to out here. So I will need to add an effect. Glow. Get a little bit red. something like this. We'll call it glow red. Then, yeah, add a little bit of variety. Let me see, is there a way out here? So effects, have it disabled by default. I don't know. Can you disable by default before you go into the events? I thought there was a way. Not sure. So now I'm wondering if everything's going to have it. Yeah, you're probably right. Okay, well, need some fine tuning, but we'll call that progress for tonight. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. But code and the beginning of the scene toggle off is the only way. Yeah, that'll be a good approach. Yeah, code, enhancer, Blaze, Riley, everyone, thanks for hopping on. And hope you have a great weekend. And whatever it is you're working on, I certainly hope you have fewer bugs than I do. So thanks for watching and catch you later.